Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful and blessed Thursday. Today is May 10th and here we are with Create Every Day in May. So I am going to be sharing today my foil technique that I did on a card that I previously shared in my VR for Deb Houck. This is not my original idea. I did get this tip from another lady, but in her video she used the metallic, the air duct tape, you know, the one that's like metal. So what I kind of did over here, and she was making little metallic corners with hers. Um, I got the inspiration to go ahead and, since I didn't have any metallic duct tape, I thought my husband had some, but we did not. Um, I got some aluminum foil, as you can see here. And what I did is I love to keep my boxes, like cereal boxes, any kind of box. I have this piece right here from these little toaster scrambles, and what I do is that I tape or glue the foil on this side. So I'm going to be making a tag, and you can cut this to whatever size you want. If you want it to be little, you can cut it to fit inside of this embossing folder, because I am going to be embossing this. Or in my case, I want it to be this big because I am going to be participating in a tag swap. I kind of did it this big because I want my doll to fit on here. So I'm going to be using this Prima doll on there to kind of, you know, make a tag. But I don't like this pattern. I just wanted to show you the size, you know, kind of comparison. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this embossing folder here. And I'm going to make sure that I get like centered. And then I'm going to come from here. And I'm just going to kind of do this number right here. And kind of try and match up the pattern to make the whole middle at least embossed. The sides won't really matter, but so yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. You might hear my kids in the background because Big Brother's home, and you know, that's when they get crazy. So the first thing I like to do is I just come in here with a nail file and kind of rip up my thing, kind of rough up this. And I'm sorry about this noise. I could have done this off camera, but I want to show you all what I do, the process that I do when I make these tags. And I just kind of rough up the paper and dust it off just so that it can catch on better when I go to glue down my aluminum foil. So then I come in here with my glue, and I try not to put so much. I don't think it matters what glue you use. I just suggest not to put a lot, because when you do the following step, the glue can ooze out. So what I like to do is I squeeze a bit, and since this bottle here is kind of like tight, I just kind of have to squeeze a little hard, and I like to spread as I squeeze, just to kind of make sure that I don't get like a ton of glue. And just make sure you cover up the surface of this, because you are gluing aluminum foil. So I think that's good. Gonna go ahead, bring in the sheet of aluminum foil, and let me see, try and smooth it out with your hand. It doesn't really matter since we're going to be embossing it. And I like to just place it down like so, and then I kind of move it around like this just to wiggle it and make it stick better. So it's important you leave a little edge on your thing here around it, so that you can go ahead and wrap it over. Let me cut this off, remove this piece. And you don't have to use the expensive aluminum foil. You can actually get some aluminum foil at Dollar Tree. But it all depends on you, whatever you have on hand. I think that it probably, you know, this is like very thin. If you come in here with this, like you start doing this number, it may tear, so you got to be gentle. And you're just trying to smooth it out as best as you can. It doesn't really have to be, you know, perfect, because we're going to be embossing it. So just be kind of gentle, that you don't come in here and like tear the aluminum foil. And the duct tape actually looks very smooth already. That I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there's this like metal air duct. It's actually like for the ACs that they have, and it has a smooth finish on it already. So that's kind of what we're gonna do here, and that's as best as I can get it. So I'm just gonna come over here and kind of fold this over just so that I can make sure I don't cut into my cardboard. Just cut. I just cut like this whenever I cut corners, like literally cut corners. So here we go. Make sure I'm in frame here, and let me trim off some of this aluminum foil up here because that's a lot. I don't need that much up there. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these edges down, and it'll be best if you probably start with the smaller one so that you can tuck the big one over it. Or you can actually just cut it off. I mean, it doesn't really, you really don't need them. But from the project that I did for Deb Houck, I noticed that the aluminum foil was raising up after the fact. And I had to kind of like make sure I gently squeezed it down. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue these edges down, and I'll be right back. So if you're still with me and you were following, this is what you should have by now. Just glue down the sides, and then this is our tag sides right here. So now here comes the fun part, and it's going to be the embossing. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this little Sizzix texture boutique that I own. This was actually, I'm sorry about that. I had a coughing fit. This was actually the first machine that I owned when I first started paper crafting. I went to Michael's. I used a coupon on it, and it was a 60% off coupon. I remember it because it was like, you don't ever forget the first, you know, anything. So I asked the guy that worked there, and he was very helpful. And he told me, I'm like, I'm looking for a die cutting machine. And I don't know if this, I'm just lining it up evenly, by the way. It's what I'm doing now. I'm like, I don't know if I really didn't know the difference between a die cutting machine and an embossing machine. And then you just sandwich it. As you can see, this is the side that I just, since I thought there was a die cut machine, I kind of like jacked it up. But that's when I first learned about these things, and I didn't really know. So you just sandwich it. I'm using this shim that they tell you to put on here, this piece of paper, when it's like a single sheet of paper. Or this is like plastic, just so it don't tear, just in case. So anyways, I asked him, and he told me that I could emboss with it, that's what it was. But that he owned it as well, and that he actually used it as a die cutting machine, that it could be used both ways. I was like, are you serious? So I went ahead and purchased it, of course. And he's a very helpful young man. Like, he always anytime I need help finding anything, he always like helps, you know. I sadly found out that he went into a coma sometime last month. I have not heard, like, I just kind of overheard the workers talking, and I heard them say that, and I was kind of saddened by that, because he was a very cheerful young man, and they say he just went into a coma unexpectedly. So this is where I was telling you all about the embossing folder. You have to pick one that's the size of it, but what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna flip it around and kind of make it line up to this right here. Of course, it probably won't be a perfect pattern. And make sure you keep the original size, because you don't want to go a little too much to any side. And I'm just going to make it kind of overlap a little onto this side over here. And I'm going to go ahead and sandwich it. And you probably hear my kids over there throwing toys. They are just boys. There's nothing I can do about it. So here is where I'm going to just emboss it up to where that tip was. You know, just run it through. And I think it's up to there. I'm going to just back it up, because I don't want to flatten out the other embossing I did already. So I just back it up, and you open it up, and voila, you did a full size. And I don't know if you can see, but this is where I kind of joined it right there, but you can't really tell. So let me go ahead and clean up my little area, and I'll be right back. So here we have it. This is the final product here of this tag. So if I wanted to, I can come along this edge here and kind of trim this off, but this might be the side where I just place the doll because, or I can just add maybe like a trim on that side. The possibilities are endless. Let me just go ahead and show you all how it would look. Like if I were to put the doll like right here, you know, it'll cover up that piece. I could kind of like make her just stand there, you know, or kind of, if I could trim it, you know, it don't matter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this little piece of paper here as my template to cut this tag out. And usually if it's not like exact size, what I do is that I line it up to my edge on this side and cut, and then I line it up over here and cut that corner, and it'll be kind of like a perfect tag. So I will not make this video too long. I'm just gonna go ahead and show this to you like this, and I will come back in a separate video to decorate the tag, because this video is already 11 minutes long. So yeah, this was just a quick tutorial on how to do that foil embossing. And you can come in here and just, you know, with like texture, like this texture metallic paste, I think it's called metallic luster by DecoArt, and you just kind of like rub it in and it'll look so beautiful. But I'll come back in another video and I'll show you all that. So this was my little I guess day 10 of Create Every Day in May, and it's just a little way of doing this foil metallic whatever. I don't even know what to call it. So thank you all so much for coming by my channel and checking it out. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.